Well, you've done it again. You found your way to code it with AI. This is episode 17. I'm Carl Franklin from AppV Next, and that's my friend Jeff Fritz from Microsoft down there in Philadelphia. I'm up here in Connecticut, and we're both under blankets of snow. What's up, Jeff?
Blankets. Quilts of snow. Yes.
So I was going to have, stupid me, I didn't order pellets for my pellet stove, like, you know, when it was, warm. So I had like a third of a pallet left, and, I'm getting down and I'm like, I should order some more. Then the truck can't even get to the place to deliver it because there's too much snow on the ground. So I have to pay a few $100 to have the guys bring it in and down the stairs and blah, blah, blah. It's just the first world problems.
I fortunately ordered oil just before the snow hit, so I had the driveways and all shoveled and the walkways, so they were able to get up and run the hose and deliver oil to the house before. Yeah,
we got the oil, we got the propane tank filled. I just didn't think that, we were going to have sub-zero freezing weather for so long that I was worried my pipes are going to freeze. So that's why the pellet stove in the basement. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you people out on the West Coast are living it up in the sunshine.
Or the Southern Hemisphere, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the topic. So we're talking about GitHub skills today, right?
Yeah, let's dive in and learn about skills. And there's other AI agents and tools out there that use skills as well.
Let's define what a skill is and how's it different from all the other terms that we use.
Sure. So a skill is a single capability that Copilot or whatever AI you may like, maybe it's Claude or Gemini or one of them. But this skill can be called when needed, and only the context of performing that one task, that one capability is loaded in. Because when we get into more sophisticated solutions and we have our AI helping us with generating documentation and writing unit tests and building services, right? There's all kinds of architecture and tasks that are out there that if you loaded all of those instructions, that's a lot of context that you're putting into your AI instruction set, even before you get to, well, here's what I want you to build and work on. So if we can focus that and tell it, well, when you go work on this thing, here's just the instructions. Here's some samples to go with what I want you to do. You end up using much less of your context window, and you end up with a very focused instruction set. And it doesn't also have these other instructions about tasks that it's not actually going to work on.
Right. So it's more focused on the task at hand, like, I don't know, dealing with files, right? That kind of thing, maybe.
Yep.
Or getting NuGet packages and installing them.
Totally.
So it seems to me that we have these layers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the very top, maybe you have an agent.
That's right. There you go.
Yeah. And the agent, below the agent, so you have the system prompt, which is sort of like the subconscious, right? Maybe it's kind of like all those things that we assume in every single request we make of the agent that it needs to follow these rules. Right?
Yeah. There you go.
And so a skill maybe is another MD file that's particular to a task. Am I understanding that right?
So, and not just particular to the task, but to a specific capability. And you had a great one that you highlighted there about NuGet. I actually grabbed and copied over into our repository for this episode the NuGet Manager skill. And I'm going to open that up here in Visual Studio Code so we can take a quick peek at that.
And this came right from NuGet?
This actually came from the awesome Copilot repository. So I've got a link to that in the show notes just below. So when you go through to the GitHub repository for this episode, you'll see links out to that and this specific skill. But you can see it's Markdown. We're used to reading and writing this. We've got a little bit of front matter at the top to give it a name and a description of, here's your skill capability. This is what you know how to do. And then we give it some clear instructions of this is what this does. So this is our NuGet manager, and we give it a little description, some prerequisites of the things that it needs to have installed and available to it. And then we give it some rules. And for us as .NET developers, these rules make sense. They're shortcut things that we know are available out there when we're working with packages, being able to directly edit some files to drop in some XML bits to point to packages. But the reliable 100% way to do this is called .NET add package, as you see here on line 20. Always call .NET add package.
So if you didn't have the skill, your agent might go out to NuGet, find the package, find the version number, and then edit your CSproj file directly.
Or, you know what? It might not even go out to NuGet. It might have a memory of some version that a lot of folks were using in their projects and say, you know what? I am going to use ASP.NET Core 8 inside my project here because that's the one everybody was using, and I wasn't given direction otherwise.
And so this seems like a way to make your agents more, more talented, right? I mean, to do things best with these particular skills. Like I can imagine building up a whole library of skills.
Totally.
And they're only called when needed, right?
Absolutely. We want to give it directions of the best scenarios, the best ways we want it to execute these tasks using standard terminology, standard technologies, so that we get more reliable results from the AI, right? The more context, the more training we can give the AI, the better, more dependable it will be in delivering exactly what we're looking for on every request.
Good.
So, real easy to see what this one is describing, and it works out just fine. So let's just create a little console app and tell it to go add like an image manipulation library to it. Just something simple here.
Okay.
So I'm just going to open up the console here, and let's just create an app. I'll just call it test. Drop into test, and I'll create .NET new console. So I have a console app here. There it is. And let's go open Copilot over here. And I'm going to add context for the test project. And let's just give it that simple instruction here. Add an image manipulation library to this project.
So you're not even telling it which library to add. You're just saying an image manipulation library.
Yeah, you go figure it out.
Okay. I like that.
So notice it reviewed the NuGet manager skill for proper library addition.
Mm-hmm.
It's going out and check the directory contents on NuGet. And now it's coming through and it's going to add image sharp.
Okay, yeah. That's the one I would have picked.
Sure. But it's gone through and done it in the terminal by calling .NET add and specifying the package, just as we described. It went up through here and it reviewed and found different packages that were available and recommended image sharp because it's the most popular modern choice. So,
and I imagine, it would pick one that has been updated recently and not one that might be popular but is abandoned. I imagine it should.
Yep. And it added 3.1.12 to the project. I think that's the latest one that's available. So, works out pretty good. And it followed our instructions.
And it looks like it gave you an example there.
Gave me a little example that I can use in my code. Great. I didn't ask it for that, but it's suggesting that I am using Claude Sonnet 4.5 as my model.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the agents and other ones out there, we can still use those. I have a couple of those that are copied into the project, and we could try some other things and see how the agents are used. I'll leave that as something for our viewers to try out. You can see, I've tried a couple different things here, like try creating a .NET console app for Conway's Game of Life. And I have a expert .NET developer agent that I've added in here. Go ahead and try changing your agent down here in VS Code to that expert.NET software engineer and asking it to create a console app for Conway's Game of Life and see how it does for you. You want me to go ahead and run that?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's go ahead and do that one. So here we go. Create a new project that implements Conway's Game of Life and let it run for 30 seconds.
Okay.
And it's going to use that expert engineer to go and design and figure this out. And Conway's Game of Life is a computer science demo that folks are familiar with. Now, look at what the agent did. It started with .NET 9. We didn't give it any instructions about a .NET version.
Right.
So it just picked that version out of, here's the other things that I know.
Okay. Could you, if you wanted to, in that agent, tell it to always use the latest version of .NET?
Yep. Always use the NuGet manager skill to go and upgrade and grab the latest versions of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so where did this agent come from?
So this is another agent that I copied out of Awesome Copilot.
Awesome
repository.
Copilot, of course. The source of all good things.
Absolutely. There's, once again, links to this agent inside the source code for this episode. And you can see the Game of Life running there inside Copilot.
Yep. Sure.
And it should stop in just a few seconds here. There it goes.
Done.
And you see it killed it off.
Wow, that's great, Jeff.
So I'll just do that one last step and let's tell it to upgrade using the NuGet manager.
Okay. The skill.
Yes. Thank you. And let's see how it does.
And you didn't have to tell it to use the NuGet package skill. It just knows from the context of your...
Because of the text of what we've requested it to do, it compares that against the description of the skill to decide what to do.
Now, do all agents support skills, and how would they do that?
The agent doesn't have to specifically support the skill, but the presence of the skill files in your repository will help it identify and use those skills. So if we look at our source code here inside my GitHub folder, I have some skills there for referencing Microsoft code, referencing documentation. There's that NuGet manager. And here's my two other skills that I loaded into this one as well.
Wow.
So
that's great.
All updated to .NET 10.
That's really cool. So I wanted to just report here that I have been trying to use some of the open source agents that support going over to Olama on another server without much luck. And maybe it's because they don't really have any system prompts or anything like that. But all of the videos that I've seen and the documentation I've seen make it seem so easy. You know, just with a couple of commands and stuff, I have no problem connecting these agents to my machine, and the Olama is certainly running on the other machine.
Yeah.
It's just that, I can't get any real value out of them. So I'm going to keep working on it. And if anybody has any suggestions for how I can do that, and basically what I'm looking for is a drop-in replacement for the GitHub Copilot CLI that does what the CLI does, except that it runs against my local Olama inference engine machine. So that's the thing that I'm working towards, because I think, as we've been saying, that's kind of the future. These all-you-can-eat models aren't going to last forever, and people are going to be running them locally
at some point.
Very soon.
Yes,
at some point.
Yeah.
So that's it, Jeff. I guess we should go over to the awesome skills, Copilot skills repository.
The awesome Copilot repository.
Copilot repository, and pick out our favorite skills and just drop them in.
Absolutely. Yep.
Great. Hey, and if you've got any suggestions or comments or threats or anything like that, send them to Jeff at Jeff Fritz. No. Send them to us at codeitwithay@appvnext.com, and we will definitely read them. And, if something's worthy of a show, we'll implement it, and we'll give you some kudos. Maybe we'll send you a mug or something. That's it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out blazertrain.com and blazerpuzzle.com for more great content.